Hey friends, welcome to today's Friday check-in. I'm Life Coach Jen, and I'm so glad you're here. So first of all, we're going to start talking about my podcast this week. It was episode 222. It was all about family roles. And the title is Your Family System May Be Driving Your Marriage Patterns. And we could just say relationship patterns. And I know you've heard about childhood trauma, right? We've all heard about that. And we're like, wait, do we have childhood trauma? FYI, we all do. Some of us have more than others. And I think it's something to look at, right? It's something that patterns, things we learned in our childhood, we are now bringing into our adulthood, and they're causing us lots of problems. And there are 4 specific roles that Terry Real talks about. And in my new training that I'm learning about how to be better at relationships, which we can all improve on, right? No one's perfect in this. And we are often categorized by our parents. We're the hero child, we're the lost child, we're the scapegoat, or the mascot of the family. And depending on how many kids that your family had, sometimes there might be a few of you. And there's certain things, like I feel like I was the hero child, right? But also I was the only daughter in my family. So that can play into roles. So I had 3 brothers and me. So there's different patterns that I think are important to at least look at and see how is that helping us in adulthood and how is that hurting us, as well as for our own children. There are no perfect parents in the world. And so just know, especially when betrayal and divorce are in your family, sadly, your kids are going to have repercussions from that. It's going to affect them. So many people think, oh, it's only between a man and a wife. Absolutely not. That's a lie that your brain is telling you, because it affects your kids. It affects so many other people, the betrayal, as well as obviously divorce. I just think it's good information. I tie the podcast into betrayal and different things to look for in the person that betrayed you. Go listen to it. I hope you do. I'd love to hear what you would like me to talk about. So send in your requests or your ideas. Now, moving on. In the news, I am going to talk about one person, Jen Hamilton. She is an influencer. I would say she is a social media person. She's just written a book, but recently we found out that her husband had an affair, and she's in her 30s, and it's hysterical because her husband had an affair with someone older than him, which is not usually typical, right? So she talks about how her husband had an affair with a 56-year-old, which is funny because I'm 55. And in my scenario, my husband had an affair with someone in her 30s. So it can go both ways. What I love about her is that she is raising money for women that need help getting out of an unhealthy marriage. You men out there, this may feel unfair. I think a lot of women, I know men are disadvantaged, but oftentimes women were the caregivers of our kids, and we stop our career so our spouse can have a career, which is what I did. And so she's raising money, and she's raised like $160,000. So I just love that she's taking her pain and creating something beautiful with it. And so if you're not following her, go check her out. As far as coaching, so what I hear all the time from some of my clients is their spouse refuses to get help. They don't need help. Okay, if you had an affair and you want to rebuild your marriage, you're going to need to get some therapy or some coaching. And so sometimes therapy has a bad name, but a coach can be just as helpful to help them see their blind spots, because we're human. It's so much easier to look at your problems than to look at my problems. And so I just think it's a red flag. It's not great if you're trying to rebuild your marriage and your spouse refuses to get any sort of help, because we already know how he dealt or she dealt with her problems is they went and had an affair. And so that was a bad idea and it didn't go well. If your spouse is unwilling, I just want you to know it can start with you. You can be the change in your relationship. You can start healing, and hopefully your spouse will come along with you. And if not, you'll be okay. And you'll know that because you've done done so much healing. I also think, as I see another problem, is some of you, I get the TikTok, Instagram algorithm, YouTube algorithm knows what we're worried about. It knows that we are typing in questions about betrayal, about divorce. And so soon your feed gets inundated, which is probably how you found me. However, pay attention. Are things that you're reading or seeing online uplifting you, or are they just putting labels on your spouse? Are they making you feel negative or positive about your experience? Not that you're going to feel positive about getting divorced or betrayed, but there are some people that just bash, and then other people, hopefully like me, that want to empower you, that want you to heal, that know it's possible for you to heal. And I think it's important. Who are you watching? What are you putting in your mind? What are you following? Because that will dictate how you feel, how you progress, how you move through this process. So pay attention to that. I think when we get stuck in shame and judgment, it is just not useful. It is not going to help you, even if it feels validating. Oh, someone gets what a rotten dirtbag my spouse was. That's fine for a bit, but you don't want to get stuck in that. Okay. Anyways, now I'm doing great. Things are going well. For those of you that don't know, my parents, they live in Kimberly, Idaho, which is adjacent, connected to Twin Falls, Idaho, where there was that terrible shooting at the In-N-Out, as well as the Tesla station. And that day I was actually in Twin Falls / Kimberly. And of course I wasn't near or around where that shooting happened, but it just reminded me that life is short. Something can happen random afternoon in a place that you would normally feel safe. I have a Tesla and I've charged my car at that Tesla station many times, and we've gone to In-N-Out Burger. Of course, they had only just got one a week before, and so we hadn't gone there. It just reminded me that it's important to show up for our kids, connect as much as we can, build our relationships, heal ourselves so we can be our best selves. And we just never know what bad thing is going to happen. There are bad things in the world that we have no control over. So what can we control? What do we have control over? And there's lots of things that you can control. I'm so glad you're here. I think about you all the time. I want you to know that you can heal. There is hope, and you're not going to feel like this forever. I know it feels really heavy right now, especially for those of you that have recently discovered the affair or have been stuck in it for years and decades. Just know there's hope and there's healing. Have a beautiful Friday, and I'll talk to you next week.